In this video, I'm going to explain how carbohydrates influence digestion and why keto diets and low-carb diets leave you with the gut and the lower body fat that you just can't get off. Because in this video, I'm going to explain the actual science behind how all of our clients are eating more than 200 grams of carbs per day and down 50, 60, even 100 pounds. So in the video, we're going to go over what happens when you go low-carb. Then we're going to go over here's what happens to your body and why your body needs carbohydrates to promote healthy digestion. And then we're going to go over what types of carbs and how much. So make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to help you guys out and give you guys all the sauce. So if you guys don't know me by now, my name's Adam Bunnell. I'm an online fat loss professional and I specialize in metabolic science, properly the process of metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming. I've helped almost 400 men in 7 different countries get to lean body fat compositions, eating more carbohydrates, eating more food than they even started. And we have 47-year-old men absolutely shredded to the bone, eating more food than ever. So let's get right into today's video. And so obviously we have a ton of our clients who come to us from the low carb lifestyle, just because within the last 10 years, low carb has been pushed on people extremely hard. And the fitness industry has pushed low carb on people for one specific reason, because they are trying to solve a fat loss epidemic by an easy solution, a quick route, but it's not sustainable because what they're doing is they're basically telling people to go low carb to cut their calories. But what happens when you go low carb is that a couple of things do occur. But these are some of our clients who have went through our program eating more carbs, down 70 pounds, down 60 pounds, down 100 pounds, down 100 pounds, down 25 pounds, all eating more carbs. So this is what happens when you go low carb. And the truth is your BMR starts to down-regulate to metabolically adapt to the calories you are consuming. So there is a process, and you're more than happy to search this process. It's called metabolic adaptation. It's the process of when you start to eat very low amounts of calories, your body metabolically adapts to the calories that you're actually eating. So in a sense, it's a starvation mechanism in times of food scarcity. So if your body feels like it's getting under 2,000 calories, your new maintenance calories is going to be under 2,000 calories because your body's going to down-regulate the metabolic pathways of your BMR that support essential body functions to survive, right? And so what low-carb dieting has put on people is it's pushed starvation dieting. What happens when you push starvation dieting, you go into metabolic adaptation, and anytime you eat more carbs, anytime you go out on the weekend with the wife, anytime you go on vacation, you gain that 10 to 15 pounds, and you don't know how. This is why, metabolic adaptation. And so as you start to go through metabolic adaptation and you start to push through these fat loss plateaus with more cardio and less food, you're running into an inflammation wall. Why inflammation is important to understand is that inflammation will prohibit fat loss. It will quite literally restrict you from losing fat. And let's think about this from more of a cellular activity level. If inflammation is very cellular active, obviously, when your body's trying to fight all this inflammation, but you're trying to lose body fat, one, you're allocating all of your cellular activity into trying to reduce all that inflammation. So you're not doing what you need to be doing with actually mobilizing and oxidizing body fat. So inflammation starts to rise, prohibiting fat loss. Your body has less fuel to promote healthy digestion. And we're going to go through how your body actually needs carbohydrates to promote healthy digestion, but your body produces more insulin to regulate energy production of fat into the correct spaces. And I know when I say insulin, people are like, oh my God, insulin is such a bad thing. Like my doctor told me to stay away from carbohydrates. Like social media said carbohydrates are bad. They lied to you. That's not true. Even in this study right here, many people falsely believe that diets high in carbohydrates lead to development of type 2 diabetes when, in fact, the opposite is true. Data show that the risk of developing type 2 diabetes is lowered as the amount of calories from carbohydrates is increased. Diets that are high in carbohydrates tend to have increased in sensitivity of insulin. Thus, today, healthcare providers actually recommend type 2 diabetes eat high carbohydrate diet. An additional benefit of high carbohydrate diet for type 2 diabetes is it lowers the risk of heart disease. So a lot of you guys watching this are probably right around 35 to 60 years old, and you're starting to take your health pretty seriously. Maybe you just want to get to that next level physique. You want to be there for your kids, long-term longevity, all that good stuff, but you're pushing low-carb diets. You're pushing a wildly outdated style of dieting that the fitness industry has tried to push onto people to reverse a lot of obesity. But it has put people in even a worse position because it gives you quick, unsustainable fat loss. It doesn't allow you to have flexibility. It gives you a one-direction lifestyle of a hard dieting with zero room for error, which creates very hard consequences. And so when we get into overall why your body needs carbohydrates to promote digestion, we've pulled a couple of excerpts from the internet to show what we mean, but carbohydrates influence digestion by providing the fuel for the process and impacting how quickly other foods are digested. They are broken down into glucose, we know that, the body's primary energy source, and some types of carbohydrates like fiber aid in the digestive process itself. So yes, the carbohydrates are your body's main fuel source. And so imagine taking away your body's main fuel source, what it prefers to burn. What happens is that the body starts to go into a starvation mode and start to say, oh crap, I don't have enough fuel. Let me downregulate everything that I'm eating. And that's where people get stuck in the low carb dieting lifestyle and the never ending every summer trying to lose the weight just to gain it back. So yes, carbohydrates play a crucial role in digestion. How? They provide energy. Carbs are broken down into glucose, which provides energy for the digestive system and other bodily functions, promote regularity. Soluble fiber found in whole grains, fruits, and vegetables help to add stool and promote regular bowel movements. It feeds gut microbiomes. Resistant starch found in certain foods like potatoes and rice acts as a prebiotic that feeds beneficial gut, which are essential for maintaining healthy digestive system. Slow down digestion. Complex carbs, I want you guys to remember this. Complex carbs such as whole grains, starchy vegetables take longer to digest, which helps regulate blood sugar levels and predict rapid spikes and crashes. Benefits of carbs for digestion: lower risk of constipation, improved bowel regularity, enhanced gut health, lower blood sugar fluctuations, and increased satiety and reduced calorie intake. It is important to consume a variety of carbohydrates, obviously, but more importantly, we want to understand how much, which I'm about to show you how much carbohydrates you should eat. But when you break down your actual metabolism, let's actually put this into perspective. 60 to 70% of your entire metabolism is made up of your basal metabolic rate, which is essential bodily functions: breathing, blood flow, think, sleep, organ function. That's why when you start to downregulate your metabolism, you guys get shitty sleep, you guys get brain fog, you get poor digestion from lack of blood flow, and then you just feel just exhausted all the time. Your organs are just not getting the proper amount of energy. And then we break down the thermic effect of food, which is 10 to 15%. That's where digestion comes into play, right? And so carbohydrates have a 10% thermic effect, which means that for every 100 calories you eat, 10 of them get broken down in the digestive process. You're basically burning calories eating. What happens when you eat fat? Only 3% fat gets broken down. Fat has a 3% thermic effect. And then you have your planned exercise, like exercise activity, and then your NEAT. So a lot of you guys who are watching this right now, you guys focus on this. You guys try to work your ass off doing that 5 to 10% of exercise activity, lowering food with this 10 to 15%, while me and our clients, we focus on the 67%, optimizing hormone levels, optimizing metabolism, and eating more food and losing more body fat, making it a ton more easier. My clients go on vacation all the time, come back the same way. They go out to eat on the weekends with their wives because we teach them how. And they have a good, healthy lifestyle, longevity. They understand the education on how their body works and how much they need to eat. And then we got, the NEAT activity as well, which is just like daily activity, like moving, fidgeting, XYZ. But what you guys really want to know, and I'm guessing why you've stuck around in this video for so long, is what type of carbohydrates and how much. Because yes, guys, if you eat a shit ton of carbohydrates, you will get fat. That's the reality of it. You eat too many carbohydrates, you will get fat. But the certain amount, the correct amount of protein, carbs, and fats will lead to better body composition, better blood panels, and a leaner, cleaner physique. So when we get into the formulas that we use, I want you guys to put this into effect. Simply do this. Take the current calories that you're consuming. So if you don't know how many calories you're consuming, or you don't know how much calories you're consuming, you need to start there, because that's step one. Step two is dialing in the macronutrients. So when you get into macronutrients like protein, carbs, and fats, what we use as a formula for our clients is 1.2 times the body weight in pounds in protein and 0.3 times the body weight pounds in fats. And all of you guys on the internet can, you take this with a grain of salt if you want. I don't even care. I don't want to be right. I just want to help people make progress. So like this information that I'm giving you, like this is what has worked for 400 people plus before you. We have over 40 client testimonials and transformations on our page. We're one of the most renowned upcoming fitness programs on the internet right now. So whether you want to listen to this information or not, completely up to you. But like I said, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to teach you what works. So the rest is, I want you to replace the rest of the remaining calories in carbs. So this should actually be carbs. The rest amount of calories in carbs. So basically, you take 1.2 times your body weight in protein, 0.3 times your body weight in fat, and then you take the remaining amount of calories in carbohydrates. So now you're not eating any more or any less amount of calories, but now you're getting the correct macronutrients. So a quick tip about high-fat diets is high-fat diets hold up digestion because of the low thermic effect and high caloric value. So like we had mentioned, fats have a 3% thermic effect. Carbohydrates have a 10. So quite literally, switching some fats for carbohydrates gives you a 3 times the amount of thermic effect of the food that you're consuming. Also, frees up the digestive process. So like when we're making decisions with our clients each week, if we do have digestive issues, I actually just had a client check in today. His name's Andrew Wright. He's 50 years old, and he is in advertising marketing. He's a wonderful guy. But he had said he had a little bit of digestive-related issues. So I lowered his fat just 10 grams to improve digestion, right? Because when you lower fats, you improve digestion because you free up a lot of digestion. You free up a more thermic effect, right? And the opposite does apply. If you're somebody who's struggling to put on weight, then you can raise the fats to actually stick the weight and hold the weight. So high-fat diets hold up digestion because of the low thermic effect and high caloric value of fats. But carbohydrates are the preferred energy source. Your body wants to burn carbohydrates. It doesn't want to store carbohydrates. It wants to use them right off the bat for energy. And so having a high carbohydrate diet, but the correct amount of carbohydrates is where all our clients see the most amount of progress. And then getting into like what we said above is that feeds gut microbiomes. Resistant starch found in rice acts as a prebiotic, which are essential for maintaining healthy digestive system. Slow down digestion. Complex carbs, such as whole grains, starchy vegetables, take longer to digest, which help regulate blood sugar, yes, but it takes longer to digest, right? So like you do need complex carbs like veggies in your diet, and we put veggies in our clients' plans, but like the complex carbs are very slow digestion. For instance, like doctors, for instance, when you go to them and they want you to lose weight, they're like, oh, stay away from the white carbs. The white carbs are the devil. Well, why is that? It's because complex carbs, like brown starch carbs, are slower digesting and lower in calories. What that does is it makes people feel more satiating. So instead of doctors going to you and saying, hey, track your carbohydrates, eat this amount of carbohydrates, protein, and fats, what do you think somebody who has never done that before and has an obesity problem will do? I have no idea how to do that. Exactly. So what they do is like, hey, white carbs, devil. They're the worst. Don't do them. They're terrible for you. Instead of actually saying like you need higher glycemic carbohydrates in your diet to promote healthy digestion, but you also need fiber and you also need veggies. You should eat this amount of carbohydrates, protein, and fats, which will allow you to sustain progress. Simply put, the average person who isn't that in tuned or care much about their health is going to go this route. And tracking carbohydrates, protein, and fats is super, super simple. It's almost as easy as putting your food in the microwave. But understand that like the lower glycemic carbohydrates are slower digesting. So when our clients go into like a fat loss phase and we're really trying to push cardio, we switch them to only high glycemic carbohydrates. Obviously, we add veggies for the obviously complexity and micronutrients, but we make sure to only stick them to white rice, cream of rice, fruit, and rice cakes, right? All one single ingredient carbohydrates, right? So the caveat behind this, guys, and I want you guys to remember this, is that we change each one of our clients' macros each and every single week based upon the progress they're making and based upon the data allocated. So our clients check in with forms based upon their energy levels, fatigue, muscle growth, how hungry they are, body composition, weight, steps per week. And we as coaches make decisions based upon certain KPIs. That's how you make predictable progress. So the only caveat behind this is this right here, this formula will work for you for the first 1, 2, 3 weeks. But you need to be able to understand how to change that, when to change the carbohydrates, when to raise the carbohydrates bi-weekly each week, or depending on how well your body is adjusting, because not everybody's body is going to adjust the same. Some people take about 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the body to adjust to a more of a carbohydrate metabolism state. Some people take 1 week, and then we raise them each week. It relatively just depends. So take that as a caveat. Obviously, I run a very successful program for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to get into the best shape of their lives, and we take care of all that for them. So it's hard for me to sit down here and tell you exactly how you guys should do it, because one, that's what my clients obviously pay me for, and I respect the hell out of my clients because they're great ass dudes. But also, you guys, each one of you watching this, are particularly individually different, right? And so I can't tell you like, hey, next week raise this much carbs, hey, 2 weeks raise this much carbs, because we go off data, we go off calculations, and we go off actual metrics to make decisions. I don't have all those metrics with each and every single one of you. And so what I'm saying is this formula will work for the first 2 to 3 weeks, but there will need to be adjustments along the way depending on how your body does react. You might need to lower the carbohydrates a little bit, wait for your body to digest. You might have to raise the carbohydrates 50 grams the next week to promote and push the metabolic rate up a little bit, burning more fat. All of that stuff comes into play, but I just want to put that as a caveat behind that. But anyways, when we talk about glycemic index and the types of foods to eat, we want to stick to more of the high glycemic carbohydrates. Why? That white rice, white bread, bagels, pretzels, all of the carbohydrates that are going to be very lean in carbohydrates, very easily digestible. Yes, we have veggies in our clients' plans that they eat on top of high glycemic foods, but overall, for better digestion, the higher glycemic the carbohydrate is, the easier that it digests, okay? The easier that it digests. Because think about it like this. When you take a lower glycemic food, let's say like rolled oats, what is in rolled oats? What ingredients are in rolled oats? Fiber, a little bit of fats, a little bit of protein. And so that starts to actually dumb down the digestive process, slow down the digestive process as well. But when you take something like white rice that has 0 fats, maybe a small amount of protein, but a higher glycemic carbohydrate, which very, very quickly the body absorbs and takes control of and doesn't stop up in your digestion, you have a very clean digestive process. So like I said, for our clients, what we do when they go into a fat loss phase and really trying to push fat loss even further, we put them on white rice, cream of rice, fruit, and rice cakes, right? And like I said, at the end of the day, I don't want to be right. I just want to share with you guys what has worked for us for almost 400 plus guys before you watching this right now. So you guys, can take that with a grain of salt, but this is what has worked, and this is what worked with almost 400 plus guys. Don't care to be right. I just want to help you guys out. So if you like this type of video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm doing these videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the purpose of teaching the consumers, you guys, my special viewers, how to get to a next level physique. But if you are interested in entering into our program of elite individuals, the link will be down below. We do twice a week group calls. We do one check-in per week with each one of our clients. They get 2 years access to all of our back-end modules on higher level nutrition strategies. And we even have a great community aligned with it as well, with us and almost 135 active guys as of right now, all from entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, doctors, private pilots, serial entrepreneurs. And so it's a really great group of gentlemen that we do work with. But like I said, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.